Hello YouTube, this is Kurt, and welcome to the Kurt Winters YouTube channel, dedicated to bringing you advice on collecting cars and celebrating the history of these amazing machines. This channel is focused on helping you with your car or restoration project. Alright, so I'm here with my buddy Nate. He owns a badass Ford Shelby GT350. We've kind of seen him in some other videos. I'll link those in the description below. But he's really good at wrapping cars, and he's going to help me out and wrap my car today. So Nate, kind of tell me what you like about wrapping and how does that work for you?
Yeah, so as you saw in Kurt's prior video, I've got the track livery on my car. Wrapping is just a quick, reasonably cheap way to customize your car. If you practice, you can get relatively decent on it, as long as you're not trying to do a full vehicle wrap. That's where it really gets difficult, because you're working with large sheets of wraps, big panels. But most of the wraps,
more space, more real estate.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
If you go with 3M, KPMF, Avery's a close third for me. Pick a good quality wrap. And most of those wraps have little pores in them that you can't see that actually release the air bubbles. So you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, so back in the day when you're putting stickers on your car, that was the worst in the world. Getting those bubbles out, they never looked right, you're swearing. So you're telling me wrap technology has kind of come a long way.
Absolutely. And 3M, they have a 1080 series. They recently are starting to slowly release the 2080 replacement.
Okay.
It doesn't cost any more money. And you'll actually see that today on Kurt's car, because one of the colors that we bought for his car actually has the clear, protective, transparent layer. So that way when you drag your squeegee across it, it keeps the gloss finish pristine. Okay. A lot of times I won't even use a squeegee. I'll actually just kind of smooth it with my fingertips, etc. And that does a good job too, if you're working on a smaller area. So in Kurt's car today, there's a smaller black area that the prior owner had, I guess, spray painted around the license plate black to get the stormtrooper look or something. We're taking it back to more of the OEM look.
Yes,
and then also the shark teeth in the front,
right,
with the lower. So you'll see how we do that
fish
today.
Mouth, the fish mouth.
So a couple of techniques you're going to see me use today is going to be 3M knifeless tape, which is really nice because instead of cutting on the car with the blade, so like if I was wrapping Kurt's door, I could wrap the panel and then come around with a 45-degree angle to back blade and keep away from the paint. But because we're going on an area that's relatively flat, and the person, when they painted it, they went past the crease, so we've got to go in that crease and up and over. The other thing you'll see me do is when I actually start the wrap job, we're going to really start with the most recessed area, which is going to be the license plate. So I'm actually going to cover it all. I'm actually going to start behind his license plate, which no one will see, but I'm going to start there, smooth it out, and then you'll see me bring it up and around. Cool. And you'll see some imperfections in the wrap as we pull. You'll see some lines getting pulled, etc., but it doesn't matter. As long as I work the wrap and all those lines are outside of the area that's getting cut off, we're good.
Now, we're going to get more into the technical aspects of wrapping the car, because Nate, I don't know how his big wrap brain actually fits in there, but it's flipping amazing. So we're going to get more into the technical aspects in a little bit, but we just want to go ahead and let you know this video is going to be all about wrapping your car. And let me ask you, Nate, what kind of satisfaction do you get from wrapping your car as opposed to going to a shop and dumping a bunch of money on it?
Well, I will tell you, I mean, if I'm doing a full wrap or a paint protection film, I would probably go to my guy, Paul Wynn over at Wrap Masters. But if you're just doing a small section of your car, or you want custom logos, kind of like you've got your logo on the other side of this car,
right?
I would cut that myself. If I want to control the design scheme, now obviously like someone like Paul's shop, Wrap Masters, he'll do exactly what you ask. If you say I want this color, this brand, he'll do it. But the key is, like all the stuff that you've seen on my car from your prior video, that the folks saw, where I had the lime green accent.
And we are going to shoot the GT350 again out in the light, so you can get a really good look at the wrap job.
We'll bring it out, roll it out, get a shot in the light. But yeah, I mean, so the thing is, the creative possibilities, you know, if you just take your time and learn, sure, you're probably going to buy, you know, if you're doing a project, figure that you may want to buy 2 times the wrap that you need originally if you're new and just starting out, because you're going to make mistakes, you're going to ruin pieces of wrap. But you know what, at the end of the day, you can buy a piece of You know, this stuff that we bought for Kurt's car to get this job done was about $50.
So would you say that you could save 40-50% on cost doing it yourself if you're...
Well, what we're doing today on Kurt's car, I'm gonna make the assumption that if you went to a wrap shop and asked them to do what we're doing today, you could see a labor cost of $100 to $150 on top. So you're looking at $200 all in, right?
Cha-ching. Okay,
Right,
so this is why it's good to have good friends. So let's get down to the technical aspects and let's start wrapping this old girl. What do you say, Nate?
All right, let's do it.
All right, bud. So, issue number 1. Apparently, a 16-year-old boy who just got his permit decided to buy spray paint and spray paint the back of his Mitsubishi 3000 GT right outside of Pet Boys. This looks like dog doo-doo. So, this is gonna be the first spot that we're gonna cover, and Nate's gonna show us how to do it. Okay, so right now Nate is measuring the actual piece of wrap. So tell us why you're measuring it, Nate.
Well, I'm trying to kind of take this larger piece down just slightly, which I think I'm going to be able to pull off. Let's see here. Yeah, so I'll probably take this down to 20 inches width-wise, because we don't need, and plus that will give you some backup if you ever need to do anything else.
Okay, so very important, measure twice, cut once.
That's right.
All right, so our first step, actually our second step after finding the right piece of vinyl, is to cut it to correct proportions. Would you say that's right?
That's right.
All right.
So I'm just going to go right on this line here. And you see I'm not chopping with the scissors, I'm just...
Perfect. Okay.
So see, now you got this is back up, and this usually when they send the stuff, I mean, they put it in a roll, but a lot of times it gets a little. But this is your extra here, so you got this is backup.
And you know, we have some spots on the roof that might be able to come in handy for that later, but that's for another video, right, Nate?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've measured. We'll check back in a second once we get down to those finer details. Okay, so now that we've got our piece cut, Nate is actually beginning to apply the wrap, and this is one of the more difficult parts, I would say, of wrapping the car. But the wrap that we're using is very, very high quality, and it is very, very malleable. So we'll check back in a second and we'll see where we're at. See, Nate is recessing in between the lip of the fascia that we want to repaint and the outside of the car. So he's perfectly matching the part of the car that we actually want to wrap. So remember, we're not wrapping the whole bumper, we're just doing a small section that looks like boo-boo. And it looks like, to me, Nate, we might have a lot of wrap left over. What do you think?
Yeah, we definitely have some left over, which is not a bad thing.
But it's always good to have more than not enough, right?
That is 100% the methodology. Buy more, because the last thing you want to do is get into your wrap project, maybe have a mistake or something, and realize that you need to start over. Now, with what we've got here for Kurt, I don't have enough to completely redo this if I screw up, so I don't want to screw up.
Okay. All right. Well, no pressure. It's looking great so far, and we'll check back in a little bit, okay? All right, so Nate has done a bunch of work on the back of this car. And Nate, go ahead and tell us what we're gonna do now as far as removing this excess vinyl.
Right, since we're actually on the body panel here, I've actually installed 3M knifeless tape, and you can see I've already started the cut here, and you're gonna see how this works. It's actually pretty neat. It keeps the blade off the car. You know, obviously if you're wrapping a full panel, you can use a razor blade, you know, you can use the blade here and be fine, but because we're directly on a panel, we don't want to mess up Kurt's paint, so we're using the knifeless tape. So it's kind of like, think of like a fishing line or floss, or
okay,
fishing line. So here we go. So see, it's making a nice clean cut, right? And you want to pull.
You could almost catch a bass with that, couldn't you?
Yeah, yeah. So you want to pull. See, I've got the sharp angle here. I'm not pulling out.
Yes, I see that.
And see, we want to keep a nice smooth motion. It's probably gonna give me a little bit of trouble right there, but see, so we're just going around and around and around. Boom. All right, now watch this.
Now,
so
let me ask you, can I use that as dental floss later?
You know what, you could. It would probably cut your gums because it's a little bit thinner, but
Okay.
but yeah, because it's made a cut. So now here we go. Right? So look, nice.
Oh,
See?
that's dead sexy.
So see, we get a nice line.
Why is it so sexy, Nate?
Look at that. It's a nice clean line.
Wow.
You know, I'm not really happy with how this turned out, unfortunately, but
this,
you know, it looks better.
Now go ahead and explain how this is going to be covered with the license
That's true.
plate.
Yeah, so we've got the plate here, right? And then you've also got the smoke out mirror.
Yeah, to keep,
so it's going to be
keep
fine.
5-0 off, yeah?
Yep, so I'm going to do one more strip in there to get that covered, but it should end up looking all right. We're going to show the after picture, but now look, after I cut it, it's still got a couple pieces. So now I've got to get this piece out.
Okay.
Right, so there's piece number one. There's another one under there, right? Because this was the first half.
All right. Again?
Boom, look at that.
Oh.
There, see? Look, here's another piece, right? You gotta get that out. So the vinyl, now it does pull up the vinyl edge a little bit. So we'll...
Now, YouTubers, I can't wait to show you the before and after picture. This is going to blow my mind. So we're going to check back in with Nate here in a second once he finishes this off.
Smooth it out.
But Nate, go ahead and give me that fist bump.
Boom.
Great job so far, and we'll check back in 1 second. Okay, so everybody can see the huge improvement between the white wrap that we have that was covering the black fascia in the back. There is no question this looks much, much better than what it did before. All right, so what we ended up using was a 3M Ghost Flip White. And we did this because the car's original color had some sparkle flake actually still left in it. And it is just seamless. Nate did an amazing job, and it has completely transformed the back of this car, gotten it back to the OEM style look, which if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that's what I'm all about, and it just looks awesome. Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, man, you're welcome.
Now we're gonna hop around to the front and see what we got going on there.
Ghost Flip metallic is what we used in the back. This is going to be a metallic white straight. Has a little bit less of a gray tone to it, but when we held it up against the bumper, because I know as you had mentioned, Kurt, the bumper had aged a little bit differently from the metal in the back of the car also.
Right, because the bumper's still, the hood is still, the bumper's plastic, yep. So all the white is going to fade at really different time periods.
Yeah, so in the material, I think it's probably urethane on the front bumper and the back where we're working, but because this is also shaded, I think this color is going to complement it better.
Right.
And you're right, your car has a lot of different shades going on. It looks great. I mean, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have really noticed, but yeah, once you said, hey, my car's got a lot of different shades because it is 25 years old or so, right?
Right.
And you know, you're right. And we held up the wrap samples and we thought that this one looked best. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, and believe it or not, this car was purchased in Plano and has spent its entire life in Texas. So you can only imagine how much sun it's gotten.
Yep.
But Nate brought up a good point. We chose a different color for the front because of the shading. So we're gonna go ahead and let Nate start cutting this up and measuring it, and we'll check back in and show you when it's done. All right, and we are almost done with the front of the car. Right now, Nate is working on the faux shark teeth. Let me go ahead and zoom in here. So far, the shark teeth have been the hardest part of the car. Wouldn't you say, Nate?
Yes, that's correct.
He's doing a great job. And one thing that I still really like, even though we're getting it back to a nice OEM look, we're still gonna get a black shadow behind the kind of fish gill, fish mouth intake, and it's still gonna set it apart and give it a great look. So we are almost done. I wanna thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.